Sup, boys? So I apologize for the hat. Was having a really bad hair day, and I figured instead of trying to fix it and fuck with it the whole video, just gonna wear the hat, not gonna think about it. And today, what we are gonna be thinking about is React streamers. Now, this has been something that I've thought about a lot, I've done a lot, and I've had conversations about this on my stream here and there. But usually whenever I'm talking about something on my stream, it's a 5 minute discussion, and then something, I'm reading a donation, somebody says something in chat or whatever, and I forget what I was talking about and I move on. But today I wanted to sit down and really discuss the idea of React streaming, the meta of it on Twitch, the meta of it on YouTube, and just everywhere, and just kind of look at the way that it's evolved and its inception and everything else in between. So, the first thing I want to talk about is kind of the history of reacting. Now, I think that there are a lot of people who are very, very negative towards React streamers and React content on Twitch. I don't really. I think that a lot of people perceive it as being more low effort content, and it doesn't really matter like whether you think that it is or not. For me personally, I guess I'll just kind of get this out of the way right now. It's a lot. I feel like my brain is going to melt about 5 minutes, or five, not 5 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes, but like 5 hours into a media share stream where I'm just sitting there reacting to videos, and that is a lot more like mentally demanding, I guess. I know it might sound weird, than streaming a video game for the same amount of time, because I'm focused on something that's not necessarily reacting to chat and thinking about what I'm saying for 5 hours straight. Now, there are plenty of ways that you can react to videos that are very boring and low effort, and I've seen a lot of those. But the way that I try to do it, okay, obviously sometimes, I don't really do a very good job, but I try to, add in my own insights and figure out a way that I can make it to where, okay, well, if this person's watching me watch the video, they're getting this out of it that they wouldn't normally get, right? It's a few comments or opinions or something like that, not just sitting there laughing. I guess sometimes that is funny, though. Like laugh tracks, etc. And I think laugh tracks is actually a really good segue that I can move over to talking about the history of React content. America's funniest home videos, ridiculousness. How many MTV shows on MTV 2, 3, 4, or 5 are one host with a panel of C-list celebrities reacting and laughing at YouTube videos? What's the difference whenever you have a C-list internet celebrity doing the same thing? The fact is that the React content is as old as content itself. I mean, the truth is that you have always had React content like that. I mean, there have been many shows that have been extremely popular in culture, like I think America's Funniest Home Videos or any of these other shows where you basically have a panel of people reacting or watching videos and then giving their take on it or their little 2 cents or their funny little joke about the video. You even have like Tosh, for example, and a large part of his show is about that. So the idea that React content is something that's new to Twitch is, it's not really true at all. Or React content may be new to Twitch, but it's not new in itself. I think that we've had React content for a very, very long time now. Now, why do people like watching React content? I'm going to be honest. I'm not one of them. I have never watched a React video in my life. It's not for me. I usually just like watch it. I'm so opinionated about these things, about like some random video. Like I want to watch it and then react to it in my own head and think about it. I don't want somebody reacting to it for me. I got to think about it myself. But I know there's a lot of other people that they like watching it. I think it's a lot like kind of like watching TV with a friend or something like that. And as Twitch and streaming and everything like that becomes more holistic, and it's not just a gaming website anymore. And I think that's one of the big reasons why you see so many people who are confused about this, is because back in the day, Twitch had a rule to where you had to have gaming content on the website. There was nothing else besides gaming content, and if you were doing anything else besides that, you would get banned. Now, the thing is that This was the case until, I don't know, like probably about like the Ice Poseidon era, somewhere around there. And whenever he started doing like IRL type content, etc., then I think that the meta shifted away from that type of, gaming only content. And then viewers started to want something that was a little bit more than that, or something, as I said, a little bit more holistic. I think there's a lot of people just still nowadays that, view Twitch as a gaming only website. And the truth is, I mean, it's a very reductive way of looking at it. And then also on top of that, Twitch disagrees with you. If they didn't, then they wouldn't have partnered Bernie Sanders, Donald Trump, and the Washington Post. It's very clear that Twitch is trying to make the website more of a live streaming hub, more so than a gaming live streaming hub. It's obvious that they're doing this. That's why they signed the H3H3 podcasts. They're trying to bring other people over to do shows on Twitch, etc. It's very, very clear that Twitch is trying to expand its market, and it's the only smart thing for them to do. So although there may be people who like only watching gaming content, and there are plenty of streams that do that, I don't necessarily think that takes away from people that don't want to do gaming content. But what I think a lot of the people that are watching gaming content and are very purist about it, um, one thing that might be frustrating for them is the fact that the React content for a lot of streamers, I know, like for many of the larger streamers, that's their most popular content if you want to talk about viewership. I mean, if you have somebody reacting to something or watching a video, usually watching videos with chat is the highest viewer count portion of many streamers' streams. It's extremely popular. Why is that? I think that it's because it's more accessible. It's just simply much more accessible to sit there and watch a compilation of people falling over, cats knocking down Christmas trees, than watching somebody play a video game. And I think there's a lot of people who, personally identify with a streamer. Like, let's say you watch some guy because they're really good at, I don't know, Diablo or something like that, and you don't really watch him. You like the guy, but you don't really want to watch him play Fortnite or something like that, or play World of Warcraft, for example. Just any other game. But you see them watching a video, and you can relate to that. You can watch that, and it's not something that's there's no barrier to entry there with the understanding of the game. So if you're watching Fortnite and you don't really know what's going on, you're not going to enjoy that in the same way that if you're just watching somebody watch a video. So I think that the accessibility of React content is one of the big reasons why it's so popular. Now, I don't think that it's going to go away either, and the reason for that is just simply because of the list of shows over the last 50 years that are basically all React content. I mean, this is a tried and true methodology for for media for years now. I don't think that it's going to go anywhere. Now, one thing that could affect that, though, I'm not going to say change that, but affect that, is copyright. Now, copyright has been probably the main driving force that people use to talk about, the decline of React streams. It's like, oh, well, then once copyright holders start, they start cracking down on this, and it's going to be a big deal. That is Pandora's box. And why do I say that? Because I think that this is the best analogy I can think of, or not analogy, example I can think of, is that the Happy Birthday song was copyrighted. So if you went to Olive Garden and they had to sing you their own special Happy Birthday song because the Happy Birthday song was copyrighted and they couldn't do it. And what I really mean to say by that example is the fact that whenever you really break it down, almost everything that people are doing on Twitch is copyrighted to some extent. The sounds are copyrighted for donations in some cases. The images are copyrighted. The games are copyrighted. I remember back whenever PewDiePie had the gamer moment on the bridge, there was a game studio or a game developer that wanted to retroactively like DMCA or remove consent for him to stream their game, and at the end of the day, it's not the same. It's not. But you can say people are reacting to the games. I mean, like, in the same way, they're still using the game, and is that fair use? if the game developer sends Twitch a DMCA, Twitch is not going to try to find out. And they're just going to ban them, and that's going to be it. So if you want to go down the road of copyright, you're going to have a platform that nobody's going to enjoy. You have no copyrighted music. The games would just be hit and miss because people could copyright them if that person was portraying the game in a light that they didn't like, etc. And this is something they can do now, but it's not part of the culture and it's not accepted. I don't think that anybody should be cheering for a heavier crackdown on copyright. It's certainly not going to be a good thing for the any creativity on the website at all. Not to say that watching YouTube videos is creative, but at a certain point, I mean, playing Fortnite all day isn't either. I mean, the fact is that there's a lot of gatekeeping and everything with entertainment. It's like, oh, well, you watch this show, you're an idiot. I watch this show, I'm smart. You watch Game of Thrones, what a loser. I'm smarter than you. I watch Rick and Morty, that kind of stuff. And I don't think we're ever going to get away from that. But at the same time, it's something to keep in mind. And on Twitch, it's the same thing. It's like, oh, well, these people look down on those people who look down on those people, etc. And I think the easiest thing to do is that if somebody is doing something that you don't like, gonna stop watching, come back later, or say, hey, could you do this instead, or whatever, right? I mean, you can offer your feedback or criticism, of course. So just in general, the way that I feel like people try to gatekeep entertainment and content on Twitch has not really been healthy for the platform. But I do think that the backlash and everything against React streaming is indicative of something that's not necessarily React streaming. The platform hasn't really had any real strong innovation. I think that the last real innovation that the platform has had was probably around the Ice Poseidon days, where people moved over to doing IRL. Nowadays, everybody's doing basically the same shit. People are playing the games and watching videos, etc. Everybody's doing the same thing, and I think that a lot of viewers out there, while they enjoy that, people are waiting and they're looking forward to what that next big thing is going to be. What's going to be the next IRL? What's going to be the next, I don't know. Just there's a million examples, right? What is the content that people really, really need, but they don't know they need it yet? And, I sit here all the time and I think about what's the answer to that question? And it's literally $1 million question. And nobody has the answer to it yet, but people are trying to figure it out. And so I think that really the backlash and the frustration behind React content isn't necessarily even the React content. I mean, yes, of course, you're going to have people that are angry or jealous because some guy is sitting there watching YouTube and getting a bunch of money for it, but the majority of it, I think, is something that's a little bit more intrinsic to the platform, which is something that's people are looking for innovation. People are looking for what's the next big thing, what's new, what's different. People watch somebody watch a video and they see this all over the platform. They watch somebody play games, they see this all over the platform. What's next? And I think that's really that's the conversation that's behind the React conversation, in my opinion. And I think it's the conversation that we should be having much more often. And as I said, I don't really know the answer to that. I sit around and I think about it all the time. It's one of the reasons why I took a break. I felt like my stream wasn't innovative enough, and it wasn't interesting, and it was just repetitive. And so I took a break. I circled back around. I'm thinking, how can I do something different and do something new? Last time I took a break, I came back and I did that. And so I just, need time to do that myself. And I think more people should look at it that way and try to figure out ways and, be more expressive with the type of content that they want to see. Because I think that's really what it comes down to. I mean, entertainment in general now is more holistic and not just related to the content that the individual provides, but more so the individual itself. I mean, Twitter and social media has given people the opportunity to have, a direct line to Elon Musk. I mean, imagine having that to Henry Ford. It would be ridiculous. It's unthinkable, but nowadays people tweet at Elon Musk and he responds to some of them. It's insane. And I think because of that, people have a more personal connection to, notable individuals. I'm not going to say celebrities, right? But notable people, and I'm not going to say the I word, okay? Not even going to say it. But you know what I mean, right? I mean, there's a lot of these guys out there. It's a lot easier to get a hold of somebody that's, famous than it was back in the day. And I think because of that, people have a more personal connection to them because they feel like they're more accessible. So I think that the way that people see content, and because they're more accessible, people have a personal connection. They want to see how this person reacts to things, and that's why obviously people develop parasocial relationships on Twitch, which is why they are more interested in watching React content because it's relationship kind of. You're watching TV with your friend, right? So it's one, two, three, four, and five, right? It's like A equals B equals C equals D. That's basically just like kind of a chain of logic behind it that I see at least. Anyway, I'd be curious to hear what you guys have to think. I've been thinking about this a lot, and I'd be curious to hear what the other opinions are. So yeah, I don't really think React content is fundamentally bad or boring or anything like that. In a way, it's easier for me to play a game for 8 hours than watch YouTube videos. I can't speak for everyone, but that's my opinion. I can play WoW 12 hours a day. I had the longest streams I ever did playing classic WoW non-stop. So, and for other people, it might be the opposite, right? Watching videos might be super easy. I don't think that, playing video games is somehow more virtuous or more difficult than watching YouTube videos on a fundamental level. Anyway, I'd be curious to hear what you guys have to think. And I don't think it's going to go anywhere. YouTube has already had the React meta for a few more years than Twitch has. And I think people are just really looking for the next new big thing. And I wonder what that's going to be. Anyway, boys, before the sun goes down, I'll go ahead and call the video. So, thanks a lot for watching. And until next time, peace.